One of the other things that we can talk about while being detained is how to apply for a bond or a parole once you're detained. Just like the attorney Michael mentioned, there is that possibility also while you're detained with immigration. It's a little bit more different as it's not really in regards to how much you're trying to pay or just openly given to you because you're detained. It's more of you having to apply for it. Three ways that we can be released from a detention center is one, on bond, so we have to pay a certain amount of money. One is under parole, we get a legal entry into the United States, which can later be beneficial to us. Or three, under our own recognizance, meaning they don't think we're at risk, is under our own word. We're just released because they think we're not going to run away. Now, these three relief options can be available either through your deportation officer directly to ICE or through an immigration judge, which involves a hearing. Either one of them can grant us the relief. So if ICE allows you to be released under bond, they give you the amount, you get released, same process. But let's say that ICE denies your bond or parole, I can still have that second opportunity to go in front of an immigration judge and try to argue again, hey judge, here is the documentation, can you please release me under bond? So I have two attempts to be able to be released from the detention center. So what are some of the requirements needed to apply for bond or parole? Some of the things that immigration officers or judges are going to look at would be our criminal history. What is it that I'm there for? Depending on the criminal history, it is something that we can argue and essentially say, hey, it happened 5, 10 years ago, and now you're just getting me detained for it. Or it's a petty offense, it's something minor. It's not something that should be used against me. Or it's not something that has been decided yet. It's still a pending case. You should allow me the opportunity to fight my criminal case outside of the detention center and at the same time concurrently file my asylum or my relief options with immigration. They will also look at your immigration history. How many times did you attempt to not be in the United States? How many times were you in the United States? Have you been previously deported? That also gets taken into account. And your relief options. What are you going to qualify to be able to stay here in the United States? If you do not have a relief option, that bond or parole might not be granted because the judge has no way of knowing that you will eventually become a lawful permanent resident or have a relief here in the United States. So all of that gets taken into consideration by either identity that has to consider your release from the detention center. Can it be argued? Yes. Would it be guaranteed? No. Every one of those applications is discretionary by the officer or by the judge. They make the final decision.